always been a person who is saying, let's look inwards, let's look among ourselves. We should not be waiting for an economist from maybe from the States or from Oxford to come and craft some models for us. No, we should actually be looking to our economists in our countries, to come up with these credible policies that will create systems that will support and sustain, our economies, thereby creating wealth and creating jobs and creating, a livelihood for our people. So therefore, I fully agree with you. But I think we must acknowledge that I want to give you my take on because I think the models that we are actually challenging the economists of Africa or of African countries cannot just go without saying that I think there has been a way by the Zimbabwean government, in my view, to try and use or take control of resources, and in terms of trying to use those resources to support our economy. But I don't think we've actually looked into these issues with a scientific eye to ensure that we maximize the potential from our resources. Yes, the empowerment, I fully support the empowerment, because I feel that it is the way out of poverty for our people, because I can tell you that communities are benefiting from the resources. I can give you an example. In Rwanda, last week we were engaging chiefs where the communities made up of the unemployed will indeed benefit from their resources within their areas. So clearly there is a move to ensure that we start looking at creating conditions where our resources can be used to underwrite our economy, and also to I think I heard recently the Minister of Indigenization talking about fortifying the economy. I think it is to that in that sense that we probably need to make our economy waterproof, if I may say that. We need to ensure that our economies are dependent to our own models that are in line or in sync with our ways of life, as well as our resources. There is no reason why investors should not invest in Africa. But I honestly believe that investors should remain as investors, and but it should be understood very clearly, without any apologies to anyone, that those resources or those God-given resources, whether in Namibia, whether in Botswana, whether in South Africa, whether anywhere in the world, even in Canada, I can tell you that resources remain they remain, they belong to citizens. They are the owners of those resources in every country. So I don't think we should be shy to actually look into this and say those resources need to be used to fortify our economy. And again, I think one of the key things that we should be doing in Africa in order to improve our economy, I think we should have maturity in our approach, and I think we should sing from the same hymn. There is no reason why you should have people in the same obviously here I'm talking in the sense of our country, people in the same government singing different songs about a policy. I think if there is a policy, if there is a legislation, my understanding as the president of the unemployed is that law was put in place in 2007, and it was supported in Parliament, and it is the law, and it should be followed. It should be implemented, and it should benefit people on the ground. So therefore, it is important we look into coming up with a credible solution that will support our own economies without looking outside. Aid, we must do away with aid. If I had my way, I'll be actually saying cut all the aid. Of course, not just cut it because we will put people at risk, but I'm saying even the Western governments are actually reviewing, aid. They are thinking about, doing, other things other than aid. And also, you find that when you compare aid that goes in Africa and the remittances that come from people who belong to those countries, who are maybe in the diaspora, that aid is not that much significant. But we seem to be beholden to that system. Why is it that then, if the influence that come with aid is based on the finances that they put, then it means that those who are sending remittances should actually assume the same status with a government that are giving aid to Africa, because clearly they are even giving more than those governments. So I would say it's about even harnessing, such finances coming in and using those finances to create jobs. I think my last thing is that we feel that things like entrepreneurship should be introduced as part of the syllabus in schools. Not only in Zimbabwe, but I think in Africa, because I think there is this issue of employment. I think Walter touched on employment. I think you defined the meaning of employment as being used. So I don't think there is anyone who is up to be used by anyone. So therefore, entrepreneurship will free people from that situation. So people will be able to start their own businesses. People will be able to come up with innovative ideas, and by so doing, they will create jobs. By so doing, those who want to work for others, they work for others. Those who want to work for themselves, they work for themselves. So therefore, we need to look inwards. There is no way about it. I think as a generation, we need to be serious about this, and I think we need to actually go into a mode of revolution. I think this is more like revolution Number two, or so to speak, that we need to do in terms of actually realigning, so many things about our continent, about our way of life. We should not compromise about our being as a people. I think we are what we are because, we are what we are. So there is no apology about that. I think it's about being proud of being African and being able to, to look into our own solutions rather than importing solutions from somewhere else.